week after the security forces sealed off the Hazrat Bal Mosque, trapping militants and pilgrims inside. Water and power were cut off on Monday. The army is preparing to sit it out. 5,000 people have been moved from their homes around the mosque complex and live in temporary refuge in a nearby college. They're allowed back under armed guard to collect belongings.
As the stalemate at the shrine continues, passions are mounting and the Indian security forces are being none too gentle in how they disperse anti-Indian demonstrations.
The leaders of the All-Party Liberation Conference defied the curfew restrictions and held a demonstration. Their demands included lifting off the siege of the Hazrat Bal Mosque and an end to curfew in Srinagar. These demonstrators were allowed to proceed only up to the Badshah Square in the center of the city. Afterwards, they were severely beaten and forced to disperse. A leader of the People's Conference, Abdul Ghani Lone, who was leading the demonstration along with Professor Abdul Ghani Butt, got severely injured. He was taken for treatment to Delhi. Abdul Ghani Lone and Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, chief of Jamaat-e-Islami, are still under arrest in Delhi.
It was a terrible day, even by the standards of Kashmir, and the worst of the killing was out of sight of cameras in Bijbihara, 30 miles to the south.
It's now clear that something went very badly wrong with the security forces operation in Bijbihara on Friday afternoon. While the people of the town mourned their dead...
During this action in Bijbihara, 50 people were killed and over 100 wounded. After the siege of Hazrat Bal Mosque was lifted, those who came out after days of thirst and hunger were all Kashmiris. Only 13 of them had small arms, denying the Indian claim of foreign involvement and also militant activity.
No one knows for certain how many people have been killed in Kashmir since '89. The government has no official figures. Newspapers put the count at 15,000, but the militants claim it's 25,000.
The white coffins of the martyrs of Kashmir are a black spot on the face of world peace. The eyes of a shaheed remain open to see his dear ones crying and mourning. Does the world see Kashmir burning? Or the smoke screen of Indian propaganda comes in its way?
So the bleeding wound will continue to bleed for some time to come. Until then, Kashmir waits.
Kashmir waits for the world conscience to see with open eyes the rape of its innocent women and the massacre of its children. Kashmir waits for the United Nations of the world to remember their promise of a plebiscite and to remind this to India. Kashmir waits for the world powers to step in and put an end to the atrocities of the occupying Indian forces. Nothing more, nothing less. This is the whole truth.